Hello and welcome, FitZoomers. I'm Zoomer Denise, this is Zoomer Diane, and Zoomer Butch is behind the scenes working the camera equipment. We're here today with our wonderful and amazing guest, Michelle Williams. Michelle's story is incredible, and we're really excited to share it with you, or have her share it with you. Actually, she was in a horrific bike accident that almost took her life. Thought she may never walk again. And through her perseverance, dedication, and commitment to getting back to her life, she is here today, more fun and feisty than ever. And we're really excited. So welcome, Michelle, and thank you so much for being on our little show here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So 17 years ago, you were an ER trauma nurse. Working in that capacity. You were just completed your first year of a 2-year nurse practitioner program, raising 2 small children as a single mother. You had just committed to embarking upon a mini triathlon journey.
My first ever try for fun.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
And you were 5 days into your bike training. You decided to up your miles by commuting to work.
Yeah.
And what happened on that day?
That was day 5. Like I said, you just said I wasn't getting my miles in, so I thought, shoot, I'll ride to the hospital in the morning. And it happened, it was a spare of the air day too, so then I really thought it was a great idea. But yeah, I was riding and I was about halfway there and I was hit from behind by a truck. And fortunately I was unconscious, but had a severe back injury. It's called a T12 burst fracture, so I lost a good portion of my spinal column. And I had a spinal cord injury, my arms are broken, I had a head injury, and it changed my life. Yeah.
So that happened on your way to work, and then you were unconscious. When did you wake up? How long were you unconscious?
You know, just in and out for a few days. With a head injury like that, you have a lot of repetitive questioning, so you'll come to, but you don't remember anything. I do remember a little bit in the emergency room coming to, my gosh, I'm going to be emotional here.
It's okay. Oh my gosh, this is horrendous. I mean, it's horrific, and you're so lucky to be alive.
I am fortunate, and this has been 17 years ago, but it still touches me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember waking up in the emergency room, and as a trauma patient, for any of you, and hopefully not many of you have ever experienced, but there's a lot going on in the room. There can be 20 people, everybody's doing something. But I remember waking up and having one nurse whispering in my ear and telling me what was going on and reassuring me and comforting me, and I'll never forget that. And so I ended up, I had to have surgery. I have a huge cage in my back. And what that did basically is
You still have it in your back?
I still have it. I'll always have it.
Gosh,
Yeah, it's pretty. It's like 11 inches rods and then big, huge screws going in and bars going across.
Do you feel it?
I can't feel it. It's heavy, so I'm very conscious of it. Because when I exercise, I'm careful not to impact anything.
It's like wearing a weight vest.
Yeah, I think I should get to take a couple pounds off every time, but I don't.
I'm kidding.
Wow. Does it beep when you go through the security?
No, it's all titanium. My arm's
okay.
titanium and stuff too, so yeah, nobody really knows anything. But basically the whole idea, the spinal cord or column was collapsed because there was no bone there, and so 60% of my spinal cord was compressed, but fortunately it wasn't severed.
You're so lucky.
I was very lucky. So once a spinal cord is severed, it never will repair itself. With mine, it was so compressed, it was damaged, but as soon as they put that cage in, it took that pressure off, and then it was a matter of time until the spinal cord came out of what they call spinal shock. And then I was able to regain some of the loss.
That's amazing.
Because of the injury and the location, I had what's called cauda equina, and so I had no sensation from the waist down. So I lost leg movement. I lost the inability to go to the bathroom. I had no sensation whatsoever. So it was frightening. I was 40 years old,
and you had your kids at home. So I know there's a lot more to the story. We've actually heard the details, but I like hearing it again. It's just like hearing it from fresh. But I know that you had a lot of support once you got out. What
it was amazing.
Was going through your head?
So at the time, I worked for 2 different hospital systems. I worked for Kaiser and I worked for Sutter, and I was actually riding my bike to work in the emergency room at Kaiser.
Okay.
But when I was hit, I should have gone to UC Davis territory, but the medics recognized me, called my own hospital, and got permission to take me back to Sutter Roseville Trauma Center. So I was treated by my own peers, and I really think to this day that's why I'm doing as well today as I am.
Yeah.
But it's unbelievable, first of all, how quickly news like that spreads through two hospital systems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it was a matter of minutes until it just spread like wildfire. But it was amazing the help that came out of that. And, you know, to jump ahead a little bit, I was in the hospital for a while, but when I got out, I was going to need total care, 24-hour care, because I couldn't walk. My arms were frozen in contraptions, so I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't take care of myself at all.
And you
so,
still had no feeling.
Right. I had no sensation and movement, et cetera. So my sweet sister quit her job to take care of me, and so we converted her house into a hospital suite. And she would care for me every day, but at the time I was in nurse practitioner school, I had no benefits, and so we had no income.
Yes.
And we didn't know how we were going to do it. I don't think it was even discussed. She just quit her job, and we marched ahead. She said she would take care of me. But between the two hospitals, we had 3 meals a day supplied to us for 6 months.
That is so incredible. That is so incredible. And your kids were young.
Yeah, my kids were 12 and 14.
Wow.
So they were pulled out of school and brought to the hospital, and they were amazing. They stayed with their dad, and but they would come over, and they learned a lot about how to take care of me and how to put my brace on and do a lot of that stuff. So it was hard. It was hard for my kids.
I was going to ask you, how was it for them?
It was really hard for them. I think, you know, it's frightening to think you're ever going to lose a loved one. But for them to see me, I think I was always like the strong one. I worked in the emergency room, you know. I should have been the one as a patient in the emergency room. So it was hard for them. My daughter ended up writing a paper a few years later about it, and she actually won a scholarship for it. But I'll tell you, it was a hard thing to read. You know, it just talked about how she had to grow up. Yeah, she had to grow up early, and she did. Both the kids were amazing.
What an incredible, yet, I mean, not ideally if you had to choose it, experience for them though, to go through that with you and see your strength and your perseverance and commitment to trudging through this hell.
They still, they talk about that actually, and a lot of people, we don't talk about it so much now, it's been 17 years, but I think, you know, you always say, of course, if I could go back and change it, I would. But I think I've become the person I am today because of the struggles and because of getting through it. And I look back, and you asked me earlier, you know, how do you do it? You don't think about it, you just do it, you know. You don't. You just wake up one day and you get through that day, and then you wake up the next day and you get through that day. And I was told that at the time they actually sold my house and my car and my furniture and everything because we had no income and didn't know what was going to happen in the future.
Oh, they didn't even ask you first?
Well, we talked about it, you know, but I was so frightened. I was like, just let everything go, because I didn't know how we were going to support ourselves. And, you know,
How scary.
Yeah, it was scary, but, you know, I did it, and I have no regrets. You know, you just do what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know, a funny thing that I didn't tell you guys when we talked about this, but we had so many people so generous helping and coming over and helping with night shift and helping me learn to walk and do all this stuff. But people would drop by food and gifts and whatever. And one of the funniest things is, and I don't even know who this person is, and I'm glad I don't, but brought over the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And my sister and I laughed so hard because we were like, gosh, this is the small stuff. I wonder what the big stuff is, you know? It was so funny, but we still kind of laugh about it.
So you guys did laugh.
We did
That was
laugh.
what we didn't want to
We had to laugh.
Could you
I didn't laugh at first.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I didn't laugh at first. I had a bad head injury and I had horrible headaches. And plus, you know, I was 40 years old and didn't know if I was going to walk. And if I could make one point to every medical person out there, it's don't tell people what they're not going to do. I was being told all the time, you know, you may not walk. And I started getting feeling and moving back, they're like, well, you're probably never going to drive. Well, then I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to drive. And then it was like, you're never going to go back to work. And I was like, no, I'm going to go back to work. But then it was like, well, you're not going to go back to the emergency room. Oh, yes, I am going to go back to the emergency room.
I love it.
So, but I don't think a lot of people would do that. It was a
No.
perfect excuse for me to stay on meds, be disabled,
Mm-hmm.
and so I actually went back and talked to my surgeons and said, thank you for doing a miracle job on me, but maybe think about this in the future.
Yeah.
Do you think, have you always been like that in terms of not taking no for an answer and seeing the cup half full, I guess? As a kid, were you like that too when adversity came your way or challenges? Did you?
I think I was a super shy kid, so I don't know how tough I was.
Mm-hmm.
Had some rough times kind of growing up, we all do, but I don't know. I think it was in there. I don't think I ever had a situation that I had to dig this deep. But I think it's in all of us. I think we all have the ability to do this. And at the time, it was tragic, and it seemed like such a big deal. But when I think back, it could have been so much worse. It really could have been.
What did you do in times? Did you have times, I'm sure, where you just were thinking, can I go on?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
how am I going to do this? Did you have?
I hate to admit, at the beginning, I prayed to die. I really did. And I'm so embarrassed by that, but I was in so much pain, and I saw what all these people around me that were taking care of me and worried about me, and it was
been
hard.
overwhelming.
It was hard. It was really hard. But once I got out of the hospital, and I had some people in the hospital that influenced me hugely and helped me get through it. And to this day, they're huge people in my life. But once I kind of got out and was more in a home setting, I think I had a little more kick. Ready to fight a little more.
Yeah.
How long was it before you knew you were going to be able to walk?
About 4 months. Right, about 4 months. I was in a big clamshell brace. It's called a TLSO brace, and they're specially fitted to your body. My little boobs in it and everything. And her name was Zena, so they called me Zena the whole time I was in the hospital, and I wore that brace for a very long time.
Do you still have it?
You know what? I kept it for so many years because I knew that thing was $10,000. And
Oh my gosh.
even though I hoped I never would wear it again, I kept it around. Then I was going to make like a plant or something out of it. And I thought about it, and I thought, I need to just get rid of this because it gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I wore that thing for a long time. And there's only one picture of me existing in that. I don't know why I was funny about it, but I didn't want anybody taking a picture of me in that brace. So.
Well, it's a pretty vulnerable state to be in.
Yeah, I did love it.
When did you get feeling in your legs?
It was before the 4-month mark, but it took a while to get the strength up and stuff because, as you know, muscles atrophy so fast.
Yeah.
And so just having no movement. And physical therapy came every day and worked with me, and I had a therapist that came and helped me work my brain, and my arms were stuck in this contraption that got twisted, to help it straighten out so that I could eventually touch my own head and stuff. It took a long time, but to have my sister had to feed me.
Well, and you said you guys never had any fights or anything except for...
Yeah, except her feeding me because I wanted bigger bites. And
That's
she wouldn't give
I
them to
love
me.
it.
She'd be
That's
like,
so
you don't
funny.
need bigger bites. I'm like, well, I like a little more food in my mouth. And she wouldn't do it. That was the only thing. Seriously, out of 6 months, her taking care of me was the only thing we
That's
fought about.
amazing.
I know.
That is
She was amazing.
Awesome.
She did things that no sister should ever have to do for a sister.
Aw, that is amazing.
No non-medical person should ever have to do for another person.
Yeah.
Never complained though. And her now husband was there and likes to do magic, and so he would practice his magic. And I was stuck in this bed watching him do
Did he
magic for
levitate
hours.
you?
I wish he would have levitated
Oh
me.
my gosh.
It was funny, but he would practice, and I'd think, "Oh, good, he's done with that trick," and then he'd go, "Now let's try it from this angle." So I was
patient.
captive. But he would, he was trying to distract me too.
Yeah.
Did it work? Did it?
It did. I'm so appreciative of all the little things. My sister had a little black cat, and that cat, there was something intuitive about it. That cat would get up with me every night because at night I had a horrible time sleeping.
Oh, I
And he'd just
bet.
be there, and I could just pet him if I was awake, and every night he would sleep with me. It was amazing.
I love listening to how
Hot
you're.
hot flash.
I love it.
I'm like,
Did we get that film?
oh my gosh. I love listening to you. The fact that you just pull through every day. And did you compartmentalize the time that you overcame, like when you started to walk and you were able to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, that was a
Then
big deal.
drive. Did you think, okay, I'm going to do this next? Or
Once I started getting like some sensation back, and really when I could go to the bathroom, that was probably the biggest deal. That was the biggest deal ever. Because like I said, I was 40 years old, I was single, and that's not a pretty thing.
No.
Yeah. For anybody that's ever gone through it, you don't even want to talk about it. But it's, I think once I got to that point, I started thinking, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I had physical therapy work with me for a long time, but I kind of sensed that I could work harder.
Yes.
And so I actually found a personal trainer that started working with me. And because I was in that body brace for so long, you can't hold your own body up. I mean, he would just drape me over a fit ball and just, I would just hang there for a while, and we would try to maybe just lift my shoulders up or something. So it takes a long time to get that back.
Yeah.
But he worked with me until I actually got really strong.
Wow.
And he convinced me then to become a personal trainer, which I did. And I still worked in the emergency room, but I would do it as like a little side job. And I worked with people with back injuries.
That's so amazing.
Yeah. But first thing I tell them is you have to get off the drugs. You've got to, it's, feel the pain and deal with the pain, but you've got to get off the meds. And, I was really determined that I was not going to be on those meds because, again, I was handed an excuse to stay on those meds and to, not participate in life. And fortunately, there was something in me that I knew that I had a lot of things I still needed to do. So
yeah, like what? Like what were you thinking?
Oh, just watch my kids grow up and move my body every day.
Yeah.
I wake up and I joke that you never want to go camping with me because I wake up in the morning. My eyes open, I'm like ready to go.
Yeah, like 4 a.m., right?
I do, yeah. Sometimes I barbecue at 4:30 in the morning. But I
That's
love.
awesome.
I know it's crazy.
It's awesome.
I'm a farm girl. I grew up on a farm. But I do. I love.
That's why you're tough.
I know. It probably has a little something to do with it. But I love to move my body. And I say that and it sounds weird. Some people are like, oh, she likes to move her body. But I
Just
like
keep them
that.
guessing, right?
I know. I
Yeah.
like that feeling of being strong and being able to do whatever. And as a kid, I was like a chubby little kid and was never athletic. And then somehow in my 30s, I kind of got coordinated or something. I was a late bloomer. But, I do a lot of sports. I'm not great at anything, but I do just about everything. And I can hold my own.
Have you always done that, though, or did you start that at age 30?
I really started at age 30 probably,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I joined a co-ed softball team at the hospital, and I was like the last batter on the bench. I was like the worst one, but I stuck with it, and I love the camaraderie of it. And then from there, I just kind of, I don't know, I started golf and tennis, and got certified for scuba, and I don't know. I was like, I can do whatever I want. I think people let fear stop them a lot of times, and I was like, I was loving it. I love that feeling of trying out new things and succeeding. And like I said, I'm never going to compete in anything, but it's fun. I love all that.
Still do it and have fun.
Heck yeah.
And so once you got your personal training and you're helping the people, was that really rewarding for you?
Yeah. The thing I tear up every time about is the fact that I had so much help and so many generous people. And I shared with you guys earlier that someone I barely knew had a truck of food delivered to us. And I was so touched by that. That as soon as I was up and going, it was so important that I went and found this man and talked to him.
Oh.
And that's all I could think about. I was obsessed with going and just thanking him for his generosity.
Oh.
And I learned a few things with people helping out. And I hope my dad never sees this, but my father wanted so badly to help. And he didn't have a lot of money. And he sent me $600. All the money he had scraped together, sent me $600.
Wow.
Wow.
And when I was better and I was working, I really wanted to pay him back that $600.
Mhm.
I felt like that's what I should do. And fortunately, my sister said that would crush him. Don't,
That's,
you know,
yeah.
people, that's the whole idea
Mhm.
of being charitable, is that people don't expect anything in
Mhm.
return. And I swear these people that helped me did not expect anything in return. And I don't even know who most of the people are to this day, but, you know, it motivated me to get out there and really do some great charity work. And I love doing stuff that nobody knows that I'm behind it.
This is what I love so much about your story is that you're the giving back.
It's so important to me. You know, if I was independently wealthy, I would have my own charity. I really would. I don't even know what my target group would be, but I would. I love it, and sometimes I do too much. And sometimes I know I have to back up a little bit and not do so much, but it's who I am to my core. It really is.
That is amazing. Yeah, I know you're involved in a lot of different things, and you've mentored two young, well, I guess they're not that young anymore.
They're 20.
Young women.
Yeah, they were
For how many
14.
years?
They're 14 when I got them through an organization called Future Foundation of
Mhm.
Sacramento, and they're underprivileged teenagers. We have boys and girls. I just happen to get 2 girls. That I earned the money to pay for their college.
Wow.
But the biggest piece is the mentoring piece, because these are kids that are at risk. One of them was homeless, no
Mhm.
mother for 11 years.
Wow.
One has a big family drug history. Father fled back to Mexico, left the family here. So these are kids that are at risk. And so I mentor them. And at first it was awkward. They were a lot different than my kids, you know. But now they are these beautiful women. I swear over the years I've learned more from them than they ever have from me. But I started off trying to be really strict, you know, no tattoos, no piercings,
Yeah.
no boyfriends, and because it was my job to kind of groom them for success.
Wow, that's a
in the future.
huge.
That's a
Big
huge
job.
undertaking.
Yeah.
Big responsibility.
It was, and it was scary sometimes, but oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite things now. I'm so close to the girls, and especially one of them. She's like one of my own kids.
Wow.
Yeah, they're amazing. So that's.
So you still have relationships with them now?
Yes, they're both juniors in college, and I will be bawling at their college graduations.
Oh.
I was a mess at their high
yeah.
school graduations. I was pathetic. I cried like a baby, and they laugh because they know I'm emotional. I cry all the time. So,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's
it's fun.
super inspiring.
Yeah, I do some work with another organization called Me One Cancer Zero. It looks like a scoreboard.
Right.
Me One Cancer Zero.
Yeah.
And we earn money for adults with cancer and their families, and it's a free 3-day getaway for them.
Oh,
We call it glamping because it's kind of like camping, but they're in rooms. And
I
we have
love that.
Glamping?
Glamping, yeah.
That's
I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing, but we do a lot of work to earn money for that too. So it's a great organization. But we talked a little bit about charity work, and people always come to me and say, "Well, how do I get involved in charity work? Well, how come you do all this stuff and I don't?" And I have a big theory, and that is when it's your time to give back, you will give back. You know, it's not going to be when you're raising your little children. It's not going to be when you're working on your career. It's going to be when all of a sudden you have time to take a deep breath and something moves you, and that's how you pick what you want to do and get involved. And I encourage everybody. There's nothing like paying it forward.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So with all this, your life is so full. You're a successful businesswoman. You are involved in your kids' lives and these
Yes.
two young women's lives. You give back to the community in other ways. You recreate. I know you have you stand up paddleboard, kayak, you camp, you work. How do you find time for
I
training
don't know.
and
I feel
working
like I
out?
should have like a little Supergirl shirt on right now.
I mean, you should.
Oh my God.
You work out. I mean, you're fit, right? You're committed to
you
being
know what?
fit and healthy.
I am really committed to it. And I think not having my health made it that much more important. And it's hugely important to me. But I don't know. I find time for everything. I think I have a lot of energy. And
I think so too.
I wake up every day and I have, 4 o'clock in the morning, I've got all the energy. Don't ask me to do anything at 9 o'clock
And you
at
don't
night.
drink coffee
No,
either.
I don't. No.
I don't know what she
She
has.
just has that energy.
I don't know
the
where I
desire,
get it.
the
but
drive.
Yeah.
Well, you are excited for life, aren't you?
I am really grateful.
That's huge.
I'm really grateful.
Oh, Oh, yeah. She gave us these before.
I know.
Sat
So you-
down.
I haven't dated serious.
So you work out, how many days a week? Do you do strength training or what
I
is it
have
that
a
you're
walking
doing?
partners. We walk 5 miles, 5 days a week
At what time?
at 5:15 in the morning.
Rain or
I
shine?
rain or shine. It was raining this morning and my partner's like, it's raining. I said, so put on a raincoat. We're going.
Right.
So we do that, and then 3 days a week I have Denise is my trainer, comes and beats my body 3 days a week, and then really on the weekends I don't do anything but I might kayak or bike or play golf or I love tennis or so I do a lot of that stuff. But on the weekends it's
It's fun.
it's fun, and I don't make myself get up at 4:15 in the morning to do my walk. So but yeah, I love all that stuff.
You just have fun.
I
at
do
life.
have fun.
Yeah. Every
I
day.
do have fun.
I mean, look how fun this space, your spa is.
Yeah,
it's so
it's
fun.
beautiful.
My medical spa.
And
Beautiful.
yeah, it's happy.
It is very, yeah, I love
It
the
is,
colors.
it is happy. And it's funny because, as far as the business, people come in and I joke that I'm going to hurt them every time they come in, but they always come in and they're smiling. It's just about everything we do here.
That's something to look forward
Lasers,
to.
and I know. But people love to come in, and I think some of it is just that positive feeling. And, I'm going to toot my own horn here for a second, but I do think, when I was in the emergency room, maybe we were saving lives. And I don't do that anymore, but I do think I have the ability to maybe make someone smile or to just plant a little seed that they need to kind of perk up their lives or to get motivated. And I have my patients a lot of times will comment about me being fit, and I encourage them all. I'll be like, walk out that door 10 minutes and walk back. Tell me, call me and tell me. You're going to walk out
I
that door
love
10 minutes.
that.
You're going to walk back. That's all you have to do today.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow I'll be like, okay, I'm going to take 11 minutes, walk out that door, 11 minutes, walk back. And, through the years, I had people, tell me, oh my gosh, I started working out and I feel amazing. And sometimes it's,
That's awesome.
I see people when they have our birthdays end in zeros,
Mm-hmm.
they come in, or they've just gone through divorce, they want to start dating, or some life-changing event, and some little thing can bug them. If we can fix it here, and then all of a sudden they go out and they start dating, or they join a club and they start kayaking, or, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get emotional with my patients about that stuff.
That is amazing.
You
That's
know?
so huge.
So it's, it's
So
not really,
rewarding.
Yeah.
it's not so much what's going on here, it's more like what's going on here and here.
Yeah.
And that's what I think.
And just your smile. I mean, I see you early in the morning. Pamela and I see you really early, so.
I look just like this when I wake up.
Don't we all?
Yes.
We look
you
like
guys
this
are
too.
ready. You guys are ready and waiting. They've already done their planks and their hip
Yeah.
openers,
Oh
and
yeah, we're ready to rock and
it's
roll.
like they're all ready to go.
We're like, hurt us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love
Oh gosh.
Do you get your whip out and stuff?
My TRX whip. Yes.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
she always goes, okay, we could do this, but if that's too hard, you could do this. We're like, stop. We can do it the hard way. We do it all the time. Like, yeah, we could do that.
You should know that by now.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I just
We-
am, cognizant. I mean, because
Yeah.
you, like we've just learned,
Yeah.
this woman will do anything. I
Yeah.
don't want you to hurt.
I have to be a little bit careful sometimes, but
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I mean,
Mhm.
my arms didn't work at all, and I have titanium in my arms. I can do push-ups.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That's
know,
so strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After I was getting up and around again, I was back at the hospital, and the surgeon that did my arms was walking by, and I was like, wait, stop, look
Did you
what I can do.
push-ups?
I
Oh,
did.
my
I
God.
dropped in the hospital floor, and
Perfect.
he was laughing and crying at the same time because I was so happy because my
Well,
arm
Did he say, I
mangled.
can't even do that?
No, he was so sweet. He just hugged me, and
That's
I had the
amazing.
best surgeons too.
Yeah.
I was blessed really to my family and my friends and hospital people and just the community. It's amazing how people will jump in and help.
I
when you need
love
help.
hearing that too. Yeah.
It's amazing.
What a neat experience. Like you
Mhm.
said, for your kids too.
I'll tell you, and my daughter, I shared this story with you a few days ago, but my daughter's a huge inspiration to me too. But when I first was out of the hospital, I just started this business and I wanted to do some donating. So I decided I was going to earn $10,000 in one day for the Red Cross. And I was just thinking about it, and I talked to my daughter and said, Brianna, I'm thinking about doing this thing. And she's like, oh, Mom, that would make me so proud. So then I was like,
So
dang it,
happy
now I
you
have to do it. I have to do it. So then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do this. So yeah, one day, just doing injectables and stuff with my business, I earned $10,000. I donated that money the next day, and I felt so good. So there's a little van driving around Sacramento with my signature on it.
That
now.
is so cool.
How inspiring
Yeah.
for your daughter, though.
I was going to say, yeah.
She'll
She
carry
makes
on.
me look like I don't, even get out of bed. She's amazing. She carries around in her cart all the time. She's in San Francisco and she works for Stanford, but she has little packets that she carries around for women. If she ever sees a woman that looks like she's in need, she'll just pull over and go out, and it's got, little handy wipes and sanitation things.
Does
And
it have a fan for hot flashes?
Yeah.
it's these
Like
lights
that,
in here.
yeah.
But it's got like a $20 bill in there. But she'll just get it.
That is so cool.
She's
Don't you love
amazing.
that? That's
Yeah.
a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
kids.
Well, I mean, there's so much learning from this. If you could pinpoint, or what is maybe the biggest thing, or is there a huge takeaway from this whole experience that you could summarize and box it up and...
I think we're all dealt cards at different times in our life.
Mhm.
And sometimes they're bigger to deal with than others. But I believe in the bottom of my heart that we all have the ability
Mhm.
to get through whatever it is that we have to get through. And to stay strong, believe in yourself. And really, probably the hardest thing for me is allow others to help you.
Yes.
Because that's a real challenge for me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, with my dad helping out, I needed to, not feel like I needed to pay him back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, there's, with regards to women, there's a power in having your body strong, physically fit, and especially as we get older, there's a power in it. And it's a power, it's a mental power, it's a physical power, but it's amazing for people that have not taken that first fitness step. It's scary. I was a chunky little kid. I was a chunky newlywed. I was a chunky new mom.
Mm-hmm.
And, all of a sudden I said, what, I have the ability to do something about this. If I spend just a little bit of time maybe working towards a goal,
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing the difference mentally when you will just take that step. It's not that difficult. And especially if you find a fun way to do it. There's a power
That's
in it.
huge.
There's a power in it.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
The fitness gurus.
The power of fun. There you go. The power of fun. That's
the power
awesome.
of fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Find something that's fun. It's not fun running on a treadmill by yourself all the time,
No.
It's not
no.
fun running on a treadmill, period.
Yeah. Find something fun.
I gotta run outside.
Yeah, find a group, find a class, find
Exactly.
something fun.
Yeah.
And I never want to sound like the exercise Nazi, and I'm careful not to over talk it, but I do believe it. I believe it.
That's
I
great.
live it.
Well, you're living proof.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can all attest too that
Mhm.
when you're having a bad day, like our bad day is nothing compared to your bad day
No.
17 years ago and your many days following that. Movement, getting your blood pumping,
Yeah.
especially outside, can just do wonders for the mind.
You're right. There's
And-
nothing better than what strong feels.
It, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It feels so good. So do I get to share my wisdom for when you're having a bad day?
Yes.
Yes.
So when you're having a bad day and you are just having a pity party, the fastest way to get over that is to go do something for somebody else. It's a miracle. One of my favorite things that I do, and man, I hope I don't get busted by saying this out loud, but I go buy cards like, in June I'll have a Christmas card, and I'll put a little gift card in there for dinner or something somewhere, and I'll go in the middle of the night and I'll tape it on someone's door that I know is having a hard time.
That's
And I
right.
never-
I love that.
I like
I never
that.
tell them.
that.
So let's
I'll
take
pretend
them
we're
to
having a
my
hard
yard.
time.
I don't know you're having a hard time. I'll bring you a little gift
I'm
card
having
for
a
dinner.
really hard time right now.
I'll give you my address. You can put one on my door.
I'm gonna go. It'll be your Hanukkah card or something, in February. But yeah, I'm telling you,
kidding.
you will stop feeling sorry for yourself if you just go out and do something
Yeah.
for somebody else. It's
huge.
exhilarating.
It makes your world so much bigger, doesn't it? And whatever issue it was becomes so small, it's so much smaller. And
I
you
tell
realize
myself every day, there's someone better off than me today, and there's someone worse off than me today.
I love
And,
that.
you know, you put it in perspective, you know.
Mhm.
I was having a heck of a day earlier today, but then, you know, it's like, oh, well, you get
And
through
then
it,
these darn people are
and then you
here.
guys show up, and we have fun.
Yeah.
You really inspired me, Michelle.
You're sweet.
No, really. I mean,
Very
and the
much.
giving, I mean, I volunteer, but not to the capacity that you do. And make it really inspires me to do more. But
I
so
just feel
thank
like-
you for
yeah,
sharing your
no,
story.
I want everybody just to do one little thing. You know, pay someone's toll.
We've given some great ideas.
I know, I love
those.
I love thinking all, and it's little things. It doesn't have to be great gestures, you know, some little thing is just so,
Mhm.
you know, so sweet. Just say something nice to somebody, you know,
Or smile.
in a store,
yeah.
or, you know,
Yeah.
Starbucks is a big thing now. You buy a coffee, the guy behind you, and I do that on toll bridges. I've done it for many years. I will die when I pull up there and someone's paid my toll. But my hope is that, you know,
that's my job.
I know, I'm like, oh my gosh. I just want to think that people will be more aware of that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that when I pay that guy's toll behind me, that he goes, oh, well, go ahead and pass it. Usually they're so shocked.
Yeah.
You know, they're afraid they're going to get a
And they're
ticket
holding
or
up the
something.
line, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is incredible. No, you've inspired us and Zoomer Butch and hopefully everybody out there today just to dig deep. When life throws you lemons, make lemonade, right?
There you go.
Just in a nutshell, and keep moving. Keep
Keep moving.
moving, get outside. If you don't like to do regular walking, running, push-ups, find something that you like to do.
Go
Find
get
a
some
fun-
tennis balls.
Yeah.
You know, join a hiking club. It's amazing.
Are you able to golf now?
I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
That
was
lateral,
wondering about that.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I have to be a little bit careful, but yeah, no, I can.
She's a good golfer.
Well,
I didn't say I was a
used to
good
be.
golfer. I just said I play golf.
Past
I love
tense.
it.
You
Oh.
could be.
Ah,
Sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
it's amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
Michelle.
for letting me share my story.
You are so, thank you for sharing it and for being here and for inspiring. And
Mhm.
My pleasure.
all right. High five.
Yeah, we always do high five.
Yeah.
Woo!